I know you are going to be inspired by something that you hear today in this episode. And I want to invite you right now to decide that you're going to do more than just listen to this. You are going to take some action once you're done to move your life forward. Because after all, we can listen to lots of great things, but if we don't take time to make the changes, then what good does it to us? So know that at the end of this, I'm going to be asking you, what's some little micro commitment you can make to move your life forward, to live more like you want to live, and to be the person that Christ needs you to be? Because after all, here at Christ-Centered Coaches, that's what we are here to do, is to help you move from where you are to where Christ needs you to be. Okay, I am so excited to be here this morning with Coach Stacey, and we are going to give it just a minute, right? We're also trying to go live on Instagram, but that one kind of gives us a hard time. So give me just a minute here, you guys. Oh, there we go. It's doing it. Okay.
Perfect.
I just wish we could change our view. So Coach Stacey, if you don't mind, if you can just take a minute and introduce yourself while I try to see if I can change how this is showing up, because it's showing half of you and half of me right now on Instagram.
Okay. Well, I am Coach Stacey. I have a coaching business called She Lives in Harmony. And Tami, Coach Tami, was a big part of helping me get that business up and going. I've been in and out of the coaching industry now since my youngest, who is now 9, was a little baby. So God keeps leading me back to coaching, and I told my husband this last time, this is my third to go at it, right? Third time's the charm, hopefully, but I told my husband, I was like, you need to help me stay in it. I love coaching. I have a passion for it. I love helping people, body and spirit, because I think that they're so integrally connected, and it's so vital and important that we take care of both. And so my name, She Lives in Harmony, is geared towards my clients or those listening who are looking to find peace, solace, healing, hope, restoration, looking to find that harmony, that balance between taking care of body and spirit, so they can find that connection with Christ and that peace and hope that they're looking for. Mine and Tami's paths crossed in
Long
COVID
time ago. We have got to be buddies for a long time.
Yeah. I think you were one of my first teachers at BYUI when the Spirit was like, it's time to go to school. Like, okay, here we go. So Tami was one of my teachers and in my marriage and family relations degree. And then after my dad passed, I wanted to continue with school, but I needed a class that I really wanted to do. I didn't want to take a break because I was worried I wouldn't go back. But I'm like, I need a class that I'm genuinely interested in so that I feel motivated to do it.
And you were so smart to do that. So smart, Coach Stacey. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Just
you were so helpful.
Quit, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So helpful and so patient with me during that phase. Because I needed something to look forward to. I found Tami was like, I'm starting a life coaching class at BYU. Come take it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. Here we go. So I buckled up, signed up. And then on top of that, class also was able to do an internship with her and do her Christ-centered coaching certification. So it was such a hard phase of life, that really helped me stay motivated and going. And Tami's been such a blessing and such a help. And I'm so grateful for her presence and guidance in my life and the blessing that she is to so many.
Well, I have to tell you, Coach Stacey, thank you. Those were such kind words. But I really have to just tell you, Coach Stacey is such a firecracker. Uh, you know, I will say, like, she has so many things going on in her life. Raising family, going to school, all these things, right? And so, I let's just be really open in this podcast. Is that okay, Coach Stacey?
Oh,
Can we just like
definitely.
be really open? And I don't think my camera's working, but at this point, no, wait. I just have to hit this button. You guys, I had to get a new
There
laptop
we
and I
go.
had to start it this morning. So bear with me, but I think it's all maybe going to work. We'll see. Hey, it looks like it is. Okay. But I have to tell you, so Coach Stacey was doing something that a lot of coaches do, and that is we get caught up in the details of like, but I want my website to be just like this, and I want my name to be just like this, and what does this need to be? And oh, this little tiny detail. Now, and she was following the spirit. So that may have been exactly what needed to happen for her. Sometimes coaches use those types of things to stay not in actual action because they're doing all the pre action, right? But
Mhm.
let me just tell you, it was like watching, seriously, I have not seen hardly any coaches do what Stacy did. It was like watching a firecracker because once she had her base like she wanted it, she just went straight up and has been just exploding, blessing the world in so many ways and just constantly and she's just going for it, right? She's not letting anything slow her down. And so everybody please go and check out. Give us all your handles real quick and we'll give them several times, but
Yeah, on Instagram, it's at She Lives in Harmony. There's a little underscore between each word. And that's the main place you can find me because that's one thing that I have found helpful is to just focus on one platform. I have the intention of I was doing lives for a while and loving that, and then Instagram changed their stuff for that, and I'm not able to at the moment, but I'm going to work back up to it. I have plans to eventually, hopefully, do a podcast one day. So plans to build, but right now, the main place that you can find me is there on Instagram, and then my website is shelivesinharmony.com to sign up for the coaching waiting list or to find out about my pound class to sign up for that. So those are my
oh,
two
can we
main.
talk about your pound class right now for a minute?
Yes, I would love to.
I have to tell you, okay, I live in Arizona, and Coach Stacy is in Utah, and old life, like April 9th, 2009, I went from being a triathlete, Olympic distance triathlete, to kind of disabled. I don't ever refer to myself as that, but I do live a lot of my life from a chair now, right? But that doesn't. I'm not even going to use that D word. But I would have been one of those people that would be in this pound class constantly, every day. So tell us about this class, Coach Stacy.
So pound is a workout. I should have brought a pair with me, but you get to use these bright neon green. They're called rip sticks. They look just like drumsticks. They're lightly weighted and you get so many amazing benefits. I just have so much fun. I don't know, pound changes my life. So, and I wanted to do the same for others, but you do cardio, you have cardio benefits, you have strength training benefits. It incorporates yoga movements, breath work, and I do a form called Pound Unplugged, which ends with the breath work and also a meditation. So it's like a 30-minute powerhouse start to your day. You've got your heart rate pumping, and we're going fairly fast and hard those while we're moving because in that 30 minutes you also have your breath work and your meditation. But the beautiful thing is I always show adjustments, different moves that you can do to make it to your level. They say that pound is for every body, BODY, not just everybody, but everybody. Doesn't matter what your capabilities are. You can do it sitting in a chair and just moving your arms. You can take out the jumps when you need to, and I show you those things and make it possible for anybody who wants to show up.
I
So
just
I
love
also
that.
turn off the lights and turn on the disco lights, which is so fun. So first off, the disco lights are fun, and second off, the lights are off, so you don't really have to worry about feeling like everyone's staring at you as much. We're just there to have a good time.
Like, you guys just listen to that. All the things that you do that are really making a difference. Okay. Like for those of us who would love to have the lights off, including me. Um, and then the disco light, just making it so fun for everyone. And then, of course, my favorite part is that breath work and meditation that you do at the
Yes.
end. You guys, what a better way. Some of you have heard me on our podcast and different places talk about the morning gym, right? Where you journal, you exercise, and you meditate. And you are hitting two of those right there in that pound class, right? So,
Yeah.
can you tell us a little bit more about what you do that at the end of your pound class?
So the lights stay off. We sit and we do breath work. You have the option to still use ripsticks, and I play a rhythm. It's a song without any words, and we're just pounding and breathing. We inhale through our nose, and you exhale through your mouth or nose, and you're doing different rhythmic breathing patterns throughout the song. Typically, there's a slow 4 count in, slow 4 count out, and then some 2 counts in, 2 count out. And the one that we've been currently doing, we've even got some where you just pound like you're drumming, and you just relax your mind and go breathe at the pace that feels good for you. And that's right at the end of the rhythmic song, so that you're just releasing and relaxing, setting yourself up for that meditation. I get to do this, so I teach PE too, and I get to do this with my PE kids, and it's so fun to just see them light up. I love teaching them. I'm like, when we get older, some people just really have a hard time finding fun in movement, and it can still be fun. They're at the age that they love it, of course, anytime, but I really want to instill in them like that movement can always be fun no matter what their age is and what's going on in life. My husband and I am not a soccer player. All my kids and my husband, they're all soccer players. Okay. So by default, I'm a soccer player, but not really. My husband and I, though, we joined a co-ed soccer team once for a little bit during COVID. So we had a chance to get out, and it was a set date night, and that was so fun. And I'm honestly terrible at soccer, you guys. I can run and I can typically keep up and I can defend the goal, but don't give me the ball. Like, I just want to kick it and get it away from me as fast as I can because I don't have the footwork. But it was just about getting out there and having fun. And the other great thing about Pound is surrounding yourself with a community. That's been on my mind so much lately as we go into the Christmas season. And I've been just thinking about the light of Christ and how we each have that little light in us. And if you look, all of our lighted atmospheres right now, if there was just one little light, it wouldn't be that great. But it's all the combination of the so many lights that makes it great. So the importance of who you surround yourself and putting yourself in settings where you feel lifted, and whether you bring friends or make friends there, that's the other great thing about Pound is having that community, that support, that love, that friendship. So vital for all of us.
Oh, Coach Stacey, I couldn't agree more. And I am going to enjoy Christmas lights even more this year because of what you just said. That idea of one little light wouldn't look so cool, but all those little tiny lights together, like on the tree, right? Make it such a beautiful thing. That is so insightful. Thank you. That is really neat that you shared that with us. And of course, we're talking about not just light, but the light of Christ. And Stacey, I have always been so, so impressed with your testimony and your determination to follow what Jesus Christ wants for you. And you just know how to step past fear and just embrace what he has for you. And I think you do that so, so beautifully. So let's just take a minute, and as we've touched on the light of Christ, what are some ways that you during the holiday season try to purposefully put away the hustle and bustle, right? Get that out and bring in that light of Christ even more into your holiday. I know for me, so many people know that I got a divorce it started back in 2019, didn't even finish until 2023. So a long, horrible process. I don't recommend it to anyone. But during that time, there were many years that not many Christmas decorations came out. We moved like 4 times, just crazy time of life. But I have one decoration that I love that's just a little box that lights up. And on the front of it, it says, Simplify Christmas, Celebrate Christ. And that is the one that comes out every Christmas, no matter what, because that is what it seriously reminds me to, like we were talking about, put away the hustle and bustle and let's focus on that light of Christ. So what are some ways that you purposely bring Christ into this season?
I love that Christmas box, first of all. That's so, so vital. There's so many little details that we can get so stuck in, I feel like, during Christmas. And I was actually chuckling, thinking of my dad this morning. Um, one of his things used to be, kiss, keep it simple, stupid.
Love it, love it.
He was just goofy like that. Very spiritual, but also very down to earth and very like don't stress over things so much that it's taking away your peace, right? And that I just had to chuckle at that as that came to mind this morning. I felt that like that was him whispering in my ear. And
100%. And I totally want to second that. I totally believe that really was him, right? And
yeah.
he's still with you and inspiring you. And how cute is that he would bring back that saying that you need right at this time, right? So
Yeah.
we all have heard that before, but what a good reminder. Keep it simple, stupid. Yes. Love it, love it. Okay. So what did he want to, what did he remind you of?
So, this season, it honestly is about Christ and remembering just to bring him in. And there's so many different ways that we can do that. It doesn't have to be elaborate. One of my kids' favorite traditions, one that they ask for every year, my youngest two look to it with anticipation. I put a little ticket on their pillows, the Polar Express ticket, and we drive around and look at lights. And I'm going to start mentioning while we're doing that, if I haven't in the past. I feel like I might have last year, but the last few years, especially the holidays, have been a little blurry. But I want to start talking about with them, like I did with you, how each light there's so much more powerful together as we bring the light of Christ and aren't scared to show up and share our light, trusting that whatever we're doing is enough. Because I was saying how I'm in and out of the coaching business. It's because it's uncomfortable and sometimes it's super scary. But I finally, what's helped me this time is I'm like, just the one. If I just touch the one, and this isn't about me, it's about sharing the light of Christ. So when I get out of my own head and stop worrying about myself and instead focusing on how I can serve and help and uplift others, that makes all the difference in our holiday seasons, in our day, all around. So that's one thing. We've always done the lights drive for a long while, but I want to start incorporating that conversation. And another one they love is we have a shepherd's dinner and we eat by the light of the Christmas tree, and it's just simple finger foods, whatever we think a shepherd would have on hand, usually some jerkies, some crackers, some different cheeses, some trail mix type things, and my kids love it because it's all finger foods, and we talk about some of the different names of Christ, and those are just super simple traditions that my kids look forward to and genuinely remember, and they're easy for me to do. They don't take that much effort, but they really bring the spirit of Christmas in. And another thing that's been on my mind is, my husband, and we're in a season that he's looking for employment, and that's tricky this time of year. But also at the same time, to an extent, I'm grateful for it because it can get so easy to get caught up in what my kids are getting, and and take away the focus from Christ. And not to say that they aren't still going to get things, but again, keeping it simple and simplifying it so that we're not removing what really matters at that time. And Come Follow Me this week, I had a verse that actually really stood out to me. It was talking about when Christ was teaching the Jews, and he was with them and teaching them for 3 years. It says about the gospel and calling them to repentance. And in Doctrine and Covenants 138, verse 26, it says, and yet, notwithstanding his mighty works and miracles, and proclamations of the truth and great power and authority, there were but few who hearkened to his voice, and rejoiced in his presence, and received salvation at his hand. And that just amazed me. I was like, 3 years in the presence of Christ. Like I would feel like I would be in awe to be in his presence, but few received him, truly received him, and rejoiced in his salvation and presence. And it made me think of, I had a friend that gave me a little plaque that I've loved, and it asks, that I pull out at Christmas, and it says, am I part of the in crowd, or am I one of the stable few?
Love that one. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for that scripture. Wow. What was that reference again? Doctrine and Covenants?
Doctrine and Covenants 138, verse 26.
Mm. That is super insightful to think about. And we all love what the Chosen is doing to help us to actually, um, feel what it might have been like back then, and the way that it is just changing the world with what they're bringing, and how even back then it was few, right? Few who actually got it into their hearts. That is such a beautiful thing to think about this time of year, Coach Stacey. Thank you so much. And I love your traditions. My first thing that I love about them is they don't cost anything. I mean, that is fantastic. And of course, we're all going to pray for your husband, right? To get the perfect job. And thank you for, your openness and your vulnerability and sharing that with us. And also, what a beautiful example you are of taking that and just not being fearful about it. See, like I said about earlier about Coach Stacey, she knows how to just continue on through the fear, right? So she's not even framing that in a fearful way. She's framing it as a time to just focus more on Christ at Christmas instead of all the gifts. And if we could all take that attitude and be more about Christ, what a difference that would make. My mom does something really cute with the grandkids. She calls it candle walks. And she has those little tiny candles, those little tea light ones that you can just turn on. And so the grandkids love it. They come over, they're all in their pajamas. Sometimes they all try to get in little white pajamas, right? And then she gives them each one little light. And first of all, they run through the house and make sure that every single light in the house is turned off because they want their little candle lights to shine so bright. And just to think of being able to, I'm sure she already says something like that, but to use what you have taught us today and to have her purposely, take them on this fun little candlelight walk, but then have them talk about how it means the light of Christ and how one little light may not seem like much, but when you put a lot of them together, it makes a huge, huge difference. So I'm going to share that with her to make her candlelight walks, even more fun.
Yeah, I love that. That is a great tradition. I love that one. It sounds like fun. As you were saying that, I was like, even thinking, what if that would be such a fun thing as a neighborhood, like have a night where you just start a walk, and when you see them walking around, you join them, and the line gets longer. I don't know. That sounds fun.
You know,
Probably not to everybody, but
no, you are totally onto something there, Coach Stacey, because I like what you said earlier about how you are creating a community with Pound, because everything is showing that in our world, people are seeking community right now. People are leaving, the social platforms even or less time on them and trying to find groups that they relate with, kind of like where they have the running club that also meets for the health drink and does yoga at that same spot, right? People are looking for those, I think they call them like third spaces, third homes, where it's a community of like minded people who are doing something together. And what a fun way to create community in your neighborhood to suggest a candlelight walk. And we
yeah,
could add caroling to it. Oh man, if anybody on
yeah,
here starts a candlelight walk in your neighborhood, please let us know. And if you're in Arizona, I just might come. So
right.
maybe Stacy wants to do it in Utah. Like this sounds like such a fun way to help bring more community with those who are around us, right?
Yeah,
So
and stop at the widows and sing at their door, or the disabled, and that sounds fun.
yeah.
I might have to spark something.
Spark, did you say spark?
Yeah.
That is so fun. I love it. I love it. Okay. Well, is there anything more that you'd like to share with us about like your coaching or experiences? Okay. Actually, if you don't mind, I would like to share an experience just real quick that I had when coaching Coach Stacy. Do you do you mind if I share the one
No,
about your grandmother?
go for it.
Oh my goodness. It's one that we have incorporated into our training. It's one that I always share because it was so meaningful for me when we had that session. And it at Christ Centered Coaches, we have a very unique way. We have some opportunities, so we've been putting together some big things about what our business is because some big people are looking at it, right? But at the top of the paper, what I ended up putting is this is not counseling, nor is it secular life coaching. Christ centered coaches is something uniquely different. And it really is. And we invite any of you out there in the internet world, come get a free session, experience it, see what it's all about. But in this session with Coach Stacy, we stop and do visualizations often within our sessions where they can just breathe and slow down their nervous system because with coaching I'm not the expert, the client is the expert, and it's all about just helping them to get to the answers that they need and want, and especially answers from the Savior. And so maybe we can go back and forth on what this, what this was like for you a little bit, Coach Stacy,
Mhm.
if you don't mind.
Yeah.
But so I invited Coach Stacy to, in the visualization, we had slowed down our breathing, we had kind of got into a good state, and then I invited her to, bring somebody into our session, who was someone that inspired her. And would you mind sharing who it was that you brought into the session?
It was
Do
my
you remember?
grandma. It was my grandma. My grandma Stacey. Her
Oh,
last name was Stacey.
are you named?
So, but
Are
I was
you named
actually
after her?
named after my grandpa. My grandpa didn't have any boys to carry on his name, so my mom named me Stacy. My grandpa's first name was Dee. My middle name is Deanne.
Oh, that is beautiful. I love that. Oh,
Yeah.
now the story's even more special.
Yeah.
Okay, so she invited her grandma kind of to just, it's nothing really woo woo, you guys. Don't be thinking anything weird, but it's just like invite them to come and sit by you and give you a hug and give you advice and thoughts and there was just so much love. Like you could tell that Coach Stacy had this beautiful relationship with her grandma. And and then in the session it's like uh you invite them to give you advice and thoughts on what you should do with your life, right? And
Mhm.
it's a way of just tapping into that. What would Jesus want for us? And tapping into our wise self. And
Yeah.
as Coach Stacy was kind of going through this, I had this little voice in my head that was saying, ask her if she has anything of her grandma's that will remind her of this session. Right. And now for me, I thought, no, that's too woo woo. I don't want to do that. But then the thought came again, ask her if she has something of her grandma's that can just kind of remind her of this session. And I have learned that when I, hear or feel a strong impression in my coaching twice, that I listen, because then I know for sure it's not just me, but it's the spirit inspiring the session. And so then, I said, Stacey, do you by chance have anything of your grandma's that could be something to just kind of remind you of the things that you felt and learned this day? And why don't you take it from here?
Yeah, my grandma loved hearts. She pretty much always had a piece of jewelry on with the heart on it, typically a necklace. I remember she even had some bracelets, I think, with, I want to say, some heart charms. But she loved hearts, and she was just the most kind-hearted, tender-hearted, loving person. So hearts are what reminds me of my grandma, and I have a necklace of hers. It's actually one that my mom got a new chain for it and cleaned it off and gave it to my daughter. And when I saw that, I'm like, I want that. That's gonna mean more to me than you. So I was wearing it more than my daughter at the time. And occasionally my daughter would be like, "That's mine. I'm gonna wear it." And I'm like, "Okay, but I want it back." And so we share it. But yeah, it was my grandma's heart necklace.
And I was just so thankful. Of course, we both just started crying, and the spirit was there so strong, testifying that that really was a little something from your grandma to remind you of how much she's there for you, how much Jesus Christ is there for you, and how much he wants to be involved in our lives. And that was just, I have used that story over and over to remind my coaches that you follow the impressions, even when they seem a little like maybe you don't want to say that, right? Because you never know what the spirit is trying to do in the session. And is just, one of those great moments. And I was so thankful for it. Yeah. Anything more you'd like to say about that?
It was a good one. I remember I still remember where I was. I'd taken my son to guitar lessons, so I was sitting in the car while we were having this session in my quiet car by myself. And yeah, just it was special. That necklace always was and still is an important reminder of my grandma. Anything and any my I've got a little necklace I've created for She Lives in Harmony, and it's, well, actually my logo, the heart, I have a heart that's connected to my H, and that was prompted by my grandma. She was such a great example of love to me and living with such a tender heart and a soft heart for people and caring about them so much. So, yeah.
Oh, that is so neat. Okay. So yeah, tell us a little bit more about the logo, and then have you created heart jewelry? Is that what or just the logo?
So yeah, my logo, the H my husband is a web developer. He started out as a graphic artist, so he's created my logo, but I wish I had, I do have something with it printed right here. Hold on.
You guys, while she's grabbing that, I
I
have
can
to
put
say
it.
my laptop died this week. And so this morning I had to start with this brand new laptop. And so if my photo is so crazy on here, I apologize. I thank you for hanging with us today. So, okay,
I
let's
was
see it.
just thinking
Coach
too,
Stacey.
my router went out this week and we're on a backup. So hopefully my picture is. Okay, so here's the heart connected to my H for She Lives in Harmony, that my husband designed. And I wanted that H just it all rooted from my grandma, the importance of hearts, the reminder of her, the reminder to love deeply and to care about people. But Genesis Jewelry, she and I have created a She Lives in Harmony necklace. You can find the link in my Instagram. And it is all about your relationship with Christ. I'm actually wearing it right now. Christ is at the center And then one of the other ones is the woman who reaches to touch Christ's hem to remind us that he can heal us and restore us. Another one is the heart that's on my logo to remind us of the importance of our hearts and where our hearts are in relation to Jesus Christ, and if we're giving him our heart, because that's ultimately the only gift that we have to give him. He's given us everything, and all that we can give him is our agency. And another one has a temple on it to remind us that our bodies are a sacred temple and a gift that we cherish and care for, and let go of the comparison and what the world tells us that our body should be, and embrace what it is, and pray to God to help us nourish and cherish it the way that he would like us to, that honors him and the gift that he has given us. So, and there's a few others. I've highlighted them on my Instagram reels if you want to go find them there. But,
What a way to, take and use jewelry in a purpose way. And hello, I like to think that it goes back to your grandma and back to our session a few years ago. Well, many years ago, right? Like that
yeah.
is really, really neat that you're now creating jewelry for others to remind them. I told you guys you were going to love Coach Stacey because, like I said, she's just her testimony is so strong. And can you just feel that her testimony of the importance of our bodies and the importance of the fact that the only thing we have to give to Christ is our agency. I'm so glad you brought that up. And I can't wait to go buy some of your necklaces because I think I'll be passing those out as gifts for sure. Those just sound amazing. And the fact that we all just need to love our bodies, and that's an important part of our whole spirit is our body too. So
The house is our spirit, which allows us to connect with God, and just amazing.
Yeah. So we got to take care of them both, right?
Yes.
So beautiful. Well, we have so loved having you here with us today, Coach Stacey. Thank you so much for taking time. And everyone who's here, thank you so much for being here with us. And if you have felt something, please, keep in our community. We want to continue building strong communities, especially here at Christ-Centered Coaches and with Stacey's Pound community. Stacey, do you mind sharing kind of like where you're located in Utah, if somebody wanted to find out more about your Pound class?
Yeah, the Pound class is in West Haven, Utah. So it's at my daughter's, it's my daughter's cheer gym. I actually help coach there also, coach tumbling, and the head coach was nice enough to let me use it for Pound space also. So just great.
Okay,
Coach Tami, do you mind if I share one more thought I've had about the holiday season?
Oh, please do.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know me well, in the last year, just barely over a year, I have lost my dad and my baby brother. And it was a long year. And so my dad passed away unexpectedly December 22nd of 2023. So this will be his 2-year mark. And my brother passed away New Year's Day of this year. So their passing was just barely over a year apart. And my dad's was 2024. 24? I know. It was such a blur. But anyways, my brother's was New Year's Day, and they were just barely a year apart. So yeah, my dad's was 23. I'm already ahead of myself and trying to think that it's right. Oh, it is 2025. See, there you go. I forget my years. That tells you it's been a long one. So my brother passed away New Year's Day. With both of those being so close to the holidays, it's changed the holidays for me. And just it's still a time of rejoicing and great thinking of Christ and the joy that I will get to be with them again, and how beautiful that is, that I know that it's not the end. And just knowing now and understanding better that people really do have genuine heartaches at this holiday season for many reasons, because of loss of jobs, or because of loved ones that you're not with or who have passed on, or or a life that doesn't look the way that you had hoped at this time. And I, again, in this week's Come Follow Me, came upon a verse that I remember reading it quite a few years back. And I was at this time in a great deal of sorrow and heartache in my life, and remembered reading this verse and was like, oh my gosh. Because at this point in my life, there was often times that I kind of thought, it's going to be so great to be in the presence of God when I get to move on from this life. And not that I wasn't having any suicidal thoughts or anything like that, but just was looking forward to embracing my Savior and being on the other side and knowing that I made it through, and just feeling the reassurance of His presence, and so many others who are amazing and have passed on. So I remember reading this verse, and it's, again, section 138 in Doctrine and Covenants, and it's verse 17, and it's towards the end. And it says, "The spirit and the body to be united, never again to be divided, that they might receive a fullness of joy." And when I read that, the Spirit taught me, right now your body and your spirit are connected. You're capable of receiving a fullness of joy. I was like, oh my gosh. How when I pass on for a time until the resurrection, my body and my spirit won't be connected. I won't be able to feel this same fullness of joy that I can feel now. And it was just an awakening that no matter what's going on, no matter our circumstances, I understand the heartache of loss and of grief. It's immense and it hurts and it's deep. But I know that no matter what, if we hold on to the light of our Savior, we can find our way through, and that there's joy. That joy is possible. Even in the darkest of circumstances, He's there and He's lifting you one day at a time, one step at a time, as you reach out and you allow Him to help you with that. So I just want to testify that He's real and that His light is possible. And if you're grieving or you're struggling in this holiday season, it's okay. And He sees you and He is with you and He loves you, and that joy will come.
Oh, Coach Stacey, that was so inspired. I know so many needed to hear that. All of us are dealing with difficult things on one level or another, and some are even dealing with the tragedy and heartache of the death of a loved one. So thank you so, so much for sharing that and your testimony of that. There can and we're meant to have a fullness of joy. We're not meant to wallow in sorrow. We're meant to do what we can to trust Him. I feel like
Yeah.
that's something the Spirit has been teaching me more lately, is that why be depressed? Why be anxious? Because if we can have real faith and trust in Him, and this happens minute to minute, right?
Yeah.
Every morning I get up and say, all right, let's try again.
Here we go. Yep.
Yes, yep. And just minute to minute realizing He does want to be in the details of our lives. And just pray and invite Him in. Invite Him into the very center of everything that you do. And thank you so much.
Pray to see Him if you're having a hard time seeing Him, because sometimes you have to have that help seeing Him.
Yeah. Pray to see Him. I love that. I love that. Okay, one last time, Coach Stacey, where everybody can find your beautiful jewelry and find you.
My website is shelivesinharmony.com, and my Instagram is shelivesinharmony. There's an underscore under each of the words. In my links, you can find also on Instagram, in my links, you can find the link to my website. You can find the link to the jewelry created with the beautiful Genesis jewelry. And I've also got a few free resources on there in the newsletter sign up. So.
Okay. Thank you so, so much. This has been such a great way to bring Christ into our Christmas season. And also, whenever we close a meeting, whatever we're doing at Christ-Centered Coaches, we always like to close by saying, go out and be a blessing.
A blessing. Yeah. Goodbye. Thanks so much for having me on, Coach Tami.
Thank you so much for being here with us. I know you have felt something today while you've been here, and I would like to invite you to act on what you felt, to not let this just be one more inspirational moment, but to now take decisive action. To choose some little micro commitment that you can take that's going to move your life towards the person that you want to be, a closer relationship with Christ, and the person that He needs you to be for Him. So before you are done, just take a deep breath and think, what's one little thing that I want to commit to? And at Christ-Centered Coaches, if you want coaches to hold you accountable, that's what we're here to do in every way, from just listening and being a part of our community to going ahead and hiring a coach and even becoming a life coach yourself. We're here to support you every step of your journey as you move from where you are to where Christ needs you to be.